Hey family, it's attorney Dion Michelle Green with Love, Life, and the Law. And here's the question for today. What makes a great parent? Listen, if you ask a kid this, it's going to depend on their age, the day, and what their motivation is at the time. And I can tell you up front, I wasn't blessed with any children of my own, at least not yet. But I have been a college professor. I have been a high school instructor. And in my high school classes, over about a 2-year period, I had about 800 students. So this perspective probably comes more so from a teenager, young adult mindset than it does from a child mindset. But I still want to give this to you. And again, it's like anything. Take it or leave it. Resoundingly, when I would talk to my students, and I worked at a school that was in the inner city, I requested that because those were the kids that I felt I would be relatable to, and I wanted them to see something that I wish I had seen when I was their age. So I took a lot of time because there were 3 of us on my staff. So I had the opportunity to kind of deal with the students that were having a little bit more difficulty than some of the other students. When I took the time to talk to the students, the kids, resoundingly, the 2 things that I would hear that I wish parents could hear were that they wanted someone to listen to them and they wanted someone to spend time with them. They didn't talk about X game, Xbox. They didn't talk about Jordans. They didn't talk about clothes. They didn't talk about going out to eat. They talked about listening to them, hearing what they had to say, and spending time with them. I know what it feels like to be a kid that doesn't get to spend a lot of time with their parent. My father was not in the picture, and my mother was working her butt off to make sure that we lived a decent life. I played soccer. Yes, I played soccer. And I ended up playing soccer in college too. I was all right? And but my mother, because she was working so much, she never got a chance to come to soccer game, volleyball game, basketball games as often as I would have hoped she could. She wasn't that much into sports anyway. But what she didn't do there, she made up for with cooking meals and taking me on family trips and all of those wonderful things. That doesn't cost a lot of money to spend time and to listen. I promise you, if you're a parent, if you do that with your kid, even when they get in trouble, they are more likely to come to you because you have that kind of a relationship. If somebody hurts them, they're going to be more likely to come to you. Give your kid that option. Give your child that option. You don't want them going to their friends telling them things that you wish they would have told you. Be the kind of parent that is open enough to hear what your child has to say and doesn't just snap every time that they do something that you don't think is right. Be the kind of parent that hears. Don't just listen, hear. If your kid starts talking about, or your child starts talking about the stuff their friends are doing, oh, my friends, they out here doing drugs, my friends are sleeping around with people, be careful. Y'all know that birds of a feather flock together. It is a challenge to not get peer pressure when you are in a group of people that are doing things that maybe you wouldn't do because your parents taught you that. But if they can come talk to you, you can help give them the strength to either get out of that circle or to say no. Listen. Hear what your kids are saying and spend time with them. I've even heard of very wealthy families whose children were committing suicide and all this other kind of stuff because all they really wanted was the approval and affection from their parents. It's not about the money. It's about time. And it's about you hearing them. Well, especially for this subject, since I already told y'all I don't have any kids. You gotta take everything I say with a grain of salt. But living this life, I've learned a lot about a little and a little about a lot. But the biggest thing I can absolutely tell you is you gotta keep God on top. It's your girl, Beyond Michelle. Love, life, and the law. Like, subscribe, share. Ciao.